Thanks, Kent. New recycling laws went into effect this month in Seattle. People need to be more careful when they separate their food and paper products. But do you know exactly how recycling works and why they encourage us to do it? King County EcoConsumer Tom Watson is here to explain recycling like we have never seen it before. And you have some very specific examples, Tom.
We wanted to get into the industrial side. People always ask what happens to these things. Do they really get recycled? And they certainly do. Recycling is really a business and a big industry. But it's really important for people to reduce and reuse, first of all. But then when you do need to recycle, here's how it happens. We're going to show some examples. And so paper, you know, I won't call it a fetish, my obsession with toilet paper. We've done a lot of things with toilet paper rolls.
Yes, toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, yes.
I love it. Recycled toilet paper is great because they make toilet paper from recycled office paper. So like your old IRS forms or office memos.
And lots of offices, like we recycle here, so that's what,
And the way we demonstrate this, you can do this with kids. Someday you might do this with your own kids. So if you wanted to spin this,
what is
the way
this,
paper
first
gets
of all?
recycled, that's paper pulp.
It's paper
That's
pulp.
shredded recycled paper. And you can see it gets turned into pulp. Imagine this in a big factory, and then that pulp gets turned into sheets of paper. It gets sprayed on a form and turned into all different kinds of paper at a big factory. And the way you would do it with this, to demonstrate it to kids, you have the water in there, and then you pull it up, and then you press it, and then you make paper. And that's just an example of paper. You can see the little words on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can. It feels like one of those fancy letter papers that you find from stationery stores.
You can make that. They're really fun kits where you can do that.
Wow.
And that demonstrates how all paper is made. Now let's go on to recycling that's right here, right here in Seattle at the Nucor steel mill in West Seattle. These are pieces of old cars that are shredded and parts, and they get turned into new construction rebar.
My gosh.
Right in Seattle, and this you might see this in a warehouse store or something up on the roof. That's made right here, recycled in Seattle, from our old cars, old bridges, and things.
I didn't know that was. Oh wow, that's really interesting. Okay,
that's exciting. Then another
aluminum cans.
A super green type of recycling is aluminum, because aluminum cans can be turned. Old cans can be turned into new cans. The way they recycle aluminum, they compress them. We think this is more than 1,000 cans right there. They call this, their technical term is, this is a biscuit.
That's one biscuit of aluminum.
Yes, and it has these grooves in it to fit them together, and then they get fed into the aluminum furnaces. These go to Tennessee, where they can handle them and get turned into new aluminum cans.
And this is about, you said, what, 40 pounds?
Yes, 40 or so pounds, we think.
That is really interesting. Okay.
Okay, Styrofoam, moving on. So another example of a material that's really light, and the way that it gets recycled is by making it heavier to transport it and process it. So this is super light, right? They take all this Styrofoam. There's a great place, Styro Recycle in Renton, and they have figured out how to process it. Now you can't.
That looks kind of heavy.
You can't put these in your home recycling bin, but you can take them to a center like Styro Recycle, and they melt it down and densify it, and then that is heavy. And then, and then when they ship that to a company, they can make it into new items. So that's a polystyrene. That's the full name for Styrofoam. Polystyrene picture frame, computer mouse or parts. Those are made from that, which is made from this.
And last but not least, we ran out of time, but I want to talk about this electronics.
This is from Total Reclaim, which recycles electronics right here in Seattle. They will take electronics. People can recycle electronics at many locations for free through the eCycle Washington program, and they will take the parts and separate them into precious metals and aluminum pieces, and the plastic can be reclaimed too.
So sort your garbage if you're throwing something away. And another reminder, you're not saying that Styrofoam should go into our recycling bin. Set those aside and take it to the proper place.
And the same thing with electronics. Yes, and we want to thank Alcoa Aluminum and Nucor, Styro Recycle, and Total Reclaim for giving us these cool props to show.
Now we know what happens and why they want us to recycle. Tom, thank you so much for being here. Really interesting stuff. For more information, just go to our website, KOMOnews.com, and click on KOMO4 TV. Remember to recycle. We'll be right back.
Pompeii, the